What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Weekday Wagers live on our Weekday Wagers YouTube channel. Thank you all for hanging out and being a part of our show today. Friday is our favorite show because we go three wide with everybody here, and it's going to be glorious. We're going to start off the show, as always, with our picks because there's not a lot happening around whether the NBA, the NHL. There's just not a ton out there. But we're going to go ahead and give you our picks right off the board because we're bringing something back. Yes, it's right before our Sunday picks. It's split decision, NFL style. So we're putting the guys up against each other to look at who the divisional winners might be. So it should be a fun one. And then we'll get to our picks. Then we'll end the show as always. In about 30 minutes, you'll get the saloon shot. And with your chance to get into the saloon, we had a new member. I believe it's the fourth time. Miss Kimberly White gets in again into the saloon. And Mark, he's still not there. And it's always funny to me. But thank you for being a part of this show and making us a part of your day. But yesterday, we did okay. Bijan went crazy as always. And then somehow Chris Godwin caught a touchdown. He finally did something. That's what we needed him to do, something. And we thought he was getting more involved, but he never ended up really, truly getting involved, only getting 20 receiving yards. Why? We still don't know. Why Baker did not run more? We still don't know. How Tampa Bay lost? We still don't know. All those questions are definitely there for Tampa Bay on now a longer week before their next game. But let's go ahead and bring in the fellas right now. And to my right, my actual left on the screen is Marky Motto. What up, Mark?
DG, Rob, look, I'm excited for this weekend. Horrible read on the game last night. I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm coming off a 4-0 weekend last weekend. Time to double down.
All right. The other guy, he is Robbie Hockey. What up, man?
What's up, fellas? Yeah, what a weird game overall. Godwin had a lot of pass interference and holding on him the first part of the half, so whatever. The Bucs deserve to lose for not giving him more involved.
Yeah, I don't get that. And real quick on that game, Mark, I know that you were probably singing to your heart's desire last night late, but for what you caught of the game, it's just absolute craziness that the Bucs somehow did not win that game.
It was the meltdown at the end. It was the absolute breakdown in communication defensively. It was an absolute breakdown from top to bottom. And you look at that and just go, you're so much better than that.
Right.
How the hell does that happen?
Yeah. I don't get how that breakdown completely happened. But Robbie, I know me and you were talking on the other side of the ball with the Falcons. They went for it with two. When they were down, I believe they were down 8, and they went for 2 when they could just kick the field goal or the extra point. They scored another touchdown, could have kicked the extra point instead of being down 2. They ended up coming back and win, but there was banana land all around in that game.
Yeah, like I said in our text, math is hard apparently for the Atlanta Falcons. But the referees were pretty atrocious last night. Like the Bucs should have won, but that was a fumble. They should have had a fumble recovery towards the end. There was a lot of the shenanigans going on. Even me and Boom Boom were texting, and he was like, does it not feel like they're trying to give this game to Atlanta right now? I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and analytics from Joe here. Analytics are stupid sometimes because I don't get why, you being down 8 would say we need to go for 2. That doesn't make sense. Like, just go ahead and live for the tie, get to overtime. If you catch up, you have the momentum. Let's just be honest. Like, I don't understand why that isn't a thing. Like,
if you catch them, you win.
Exactly. Right. And even if you do go to overtime, you give yourself a chance, not like, hey, we're going to go for the win. Like, were they going to go for 2 no matter what, both times? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's so dumb. But that is the NFL, especially on Thursdays. I don't know. I believe Robbie said something like the craziness of Thursdays and whatever happens about teams covering the underdogs has been nuts all season. Is that right?
It has. Yeah, next week we get Seattle and Los Angeles. So we don't have any definite favorite in that game. So at least we won't have any shenanigans going on next Thursday.
Speaking of shenanigans, Baker, Irish John here. Baker had one more rushing yard than me. Yes, because he literally had wide open daylight, especially the first half. Like I get it, whatever. The second half got a little bit dicier where he could have ran and he didn't. But the first half, he had opportunities to take off and decided, you know what, I'm not running tonight. I'm just not going to do it. And the one time he did, somebody grabbed his twinkle toes and did not let him go far past the line of scrimmage. Probably literally just got, which this happened before with Dak. He got over the line of scrimmage when he got tackled. I rest my case on that one. But this same thing happened. He fell over the line. They gave him 1 yard rushing. Like the exact same thing happened. I'm still right about that. They didn't get that many sacks. I believe it was me and Robbie going head to head. It was an overdrive.
Yes.
Green Bay got an extra sack, and I said that Micah Parsons would not get a sack, and he still really should not have gotten a sack. I'm just being honest.
That's right.
I saw it last night. So F Micah Parsons, F that stupid role, whoever came up with it. Whatever. That's enough of me. I'm pissed still, as you can tell. That was like literally 2 months ago. Anyway.
The only overdrive I did decent in was that one. So, yeah.
Well, at least you said it. We've been texting on the side about it, but at least you said it. All right, well, let's get to our picks today. We're going to go ahead and roll through our Friday and Saturday slate so we can go ahead and get to our NFL split decision. So we're going to roll through these pretty quickly today. And Robbie, it looks like you're leading us off on a Friday. What you got?
Yeah, it's a terrible hockey slate tonight. 4 not so great teams, not 4 pretty terrible offenses as well. But I'm going to go with the Blues and take Dylan Holloway for 1+ point at -110. The Blues got absolutely embarrassed by my Preds last night. If you can hear it, Steven Stamkos just scored another goal on them. He had 4 last night. But Holloway's getting pucks on net. He's averaging 3 shots on goal in his last 3 games. He's streaky when it comes to putting up points, but he has 3 goals and 5 assists in his last 9 games. The Blues just in general are not very good. I wish Holloway was on a different team because he's too good to be on this crappy team that he's on. Against Chicago, he is on a 4-game point streak. He has 2 goals and 3 assists. I like him to at least get on the score sheet tonight, and I don't mind sprinkling on him to score a goal as well.
I am going to that aforementioned horrible hockey slate tonight, and I am going to target Spencer Knight. Look, if you haven't heard me talk about how dominant Spencer Knight has been in goal for the Blackhawks, especially in the first period, you've been living under a rock because I had been singing this guy's praises all season long. He has held teams scoreless in the first period in 74% of his starts. I love this spot for him to get a St. Louis Blues team who has just not been firing on all cylinders yet and still trying to find their footing. I mean, hell, Nashville just beat them. Look for Spencer Knight to control the first 20. After that, it's a crapshoot as to who wins this thing because the Blackhawks always crumble in the second and third period. But for the first 20 minutes, it's all about the Knight.
All right, let's go to the association here with the Cavs and the Wizards. And we're going to target the first quarter going over 59.5. It's at -105. The model has this score at a 64.4. They combine to average 63.2 first quarter points per game. They combine to allow, on average, 61.7 first quarter points per game. All those are over the 59.5. And I look at these two teams, and as you can see in the NBA right now, these teams are playing fast because they're all rested. Like most of these guys, have not played in over a week. And so at that point, we're talking about guys who actually have fresh legs. First quarter, getting up and down. They're not worried about playing defense because they're actually just enjoying playing basketball again. So I love these to go over this line. I believe we looked at the last few days, and since that rest has happened, I believe the model is like 7-0 in the first quarter and the overs. And so I love this line, especially in the first quarter. All right, now let's go to Saturday and our only Saturday play with Mark.
Look, if you haven't got the FCS football bug, shame on you. These games have been so exciting and so fun to watch. And we've got a matchup here with the Montana Grizzlies taking on the South Dakota Coyotes. And I don't know if you know this, but Coyotes never beat Grizzlies. They always lose. In fact, Grizzlies are coming off beating South Dakota State last week, 50-12. I love this spot for the Grizzlies at home. When you get this far along in the FCS playoffs, look, one thing is for sure. Home field matters, and there is not a louder, more rambunctious stadium than Washington Grizzlies Stadium in Missoula, Montana. Give me the Grizzlies to cover this thing by 7.5. I love this spot for Montana to advance, and look for a Montana State FCS final.
Wow, already giving a prediction. I like it there, Mark. A little known fact, and I don't know, this is going to mean nothing to most people, but your Montana Grizzlies, I actually know about them enough. The only reason I somewhat know about them is because if you go to any Target in the, let's say the Mid-South area here around Memphis, so the surrounding area, no matter what Target is, they always somehow they're carrying Montana Grizzlies gear. It's not because they do it on purpose. It's because they always send the wrong gear into Targets, and they always just put it up on the shelf because what else are you going to do? We're going to just send it back? No, I'm just going to try to sell it, and maybe some stupid Memphis Grizzlies fan will just buy it because it says Grizzlies on it, even though it's maroon and gold and not the same logos at all. So yes, I do keep up with them because mainly I always laugh anytime I walk in Target and I see the Montana Grizzlies section. I'm like, who is going to buy this stuff? And why don't they just send it back? It's dumb. So hopefully they win.
Yeah, listen, go get the shirt.
Yeah, I'll get a shirt if they keep winning. If they win the whole damn thing, I'll buy a shirt. Why not? I'll go down to the local Target. All right. Well, those are our Friday and Saturday picks. So if you want to go ahead and get them in, go ahead and get them in. But now it's a chance for us to play split decision. A lot of people have been asking for this to come back. And because it's been honestly, it's busy right now. There's so much content, especially around the college football and the NFL. We thought this is really the only off week because it's Army versus Navy, which is going to be a good game. It's a classic, but there's no reason to spend that much time into it, right? And so we're going to go ahead and for a 1 week only, we're going to have split decision here. And then we'll come back in the NFL, college football, and then after NFL and really just football in general is over, we'll bring back the split decision. But I know split decision is kind of tough to prepare for these guys. And so we want to make sure they don't want to look like a doofus and they don't want to be bumfuzzled.
Okay. I have no problem doing that on my own, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So why go ahead and help you with that? So this is what we call split decision. And so what we'll do is we have both guys and we'll make sure that they're set and they'll get to pick whoever team they want to do. And today it's all about the divisions. And so we're going to start off with the AFC East. And so if you think you have somebody who you think will win the actual division, share it. I would love to know what you all think as well, because there's a lot of these divisions that are really, really close. There's multiple teams involved, but the guys are going to give you whoever goes first. They get their pick of the litter. They'll choose the other team. The other guy has to give us a reason why the other team could win. Not meaning that they actually believe it, but they say that's the only chance that they actually have is because of their thoughts. And so because we're looking at the first one is the biggest one, in my opinion. It's New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots have a 2-game lead on the Bills. And that's what I see this weekend. It is Buffalo against the Patriots. And so who wants to go first on this one? Okay, Marky Model. All right, Mark's going to go first. He's got 30 seconds, and then Robbie will start us off. So the winner of the AFC is who, Mark?
Count it now. Book it now. Right behind me. Says Mafia. Bills Mafia will be celebrating at the end of the season because they win the AFC East. You want to know why? It starts with this weekend's game in New England. They're going to beat New England, close that gap to 1. Then New England has the Ravens next. Guess what? They're not going to get past the Ravens. Yes, they have the Jets and a Dolphins team that has found itself rejuvenated to close out the season. Look for the Bills to sneak by and get the division.
Yeah, I think Buffalo definitely wins this game this weekend. I don't have a lot of faith in Baltimore, especially against the New England defense. So I think they can win that one. And if that game was in Miami, I would actually favor Miami because New England never plays well there, but it's going to be in New England, and we all know how Miami plays. I think New England still covers this division. I think they go 14-3. Buffalo goes 13-4. Maybe a scenario where they meet in the playoffs, and if they do, Buffalo will win that one as well.
All right, so I'm seeing people already saying, Mark, you lost because you're taking Buffalo to win. But my question is they don't have New England doesn't have the tiebreaker yet because they still play this weekend, and so the tiebreaker has to be. I would assume it's by games, right? So if New England does win, it's over. They're going to win the division. But if for some reason Buffalo does win, is it about the point differential and the two matchups? Is that the next tiebreaker? Do we know?
I really don't, because I was thinking of that, and I feel like an idiot because I don't know that. But I was like, well, what happens if Buffalo wins? Then they have the same record at the end of the year. They both beat each other, right? Do they just go to division play at that point? But then they have the same division record. It's still, I don't know. I don't know if the chat can help me out. That'd be great. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody Google it.
I do believe it goes head to head, then division record, and then points.
Points, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me. I'm gonna try to see if I can see the tie-breaking procedures here because there's no reason. All right, to break a tie within the division, if at the end of the regular season 2 or more clubs in the same division finish with identical win-loss, whatever, the head-to-head. Okay, so the percentage, and then the best won-loss tied percentage in games played within the division. Okay.
Okay.
So if they still have the same within the division of the win-loss tie percentage, then they go to common games or common opponents. And so I'm not sure who I would say that one, if the Bills do win this weekend, I wonder what that puts them at. Do we know? And I know this is the long and off topic, but I'm trying to figure out the actual rules here.
I don't. And then you still have New England has to play the Jets and Miami still left on their schedule. So.
All right. So New England's 3-0. Buffalo's 2-2 in the division. So obviously the percentage would go to New England. But that would put Buffalo, if they win, 3-2, and it would put them at New England at 3-1. So then New England would have to lose one of those. And so, all right, well, that should be interesting. But that at least that gives an insight on how the divisions work. And so with that being said, let's go to the AFC North here. And we're going to go look at that one and see exactly the teams that we're dealing with. All right, we're looking at Pittsburgh 7-6, Baltimore 6-7, 1 game back. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are all but eliminated at this point. And so, Robbie, I'll let you go first and let you get your pick of the litter. Who wins the AFC North?
It's a tough one. I'm going to take Baltimore. I think Baltimore shakes out at 9-8, and I think Pittsburgh shakes out at 8-9. I think it's that close. I think it comes down to the last game of the year between the two teams. And I just trust Baltimore more with Lamar Jackson than Pittsburgh having Aaron Rodgers. Cincinnati could throw a wrench into this because I think Baltimore beats Cincinnati, but Cincinnati, for whatever reason, still plays hard. I think Baltimore loses to New England, but then they got Green Bay, then Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh then plays Detroit, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Very similar schedule, but I'm going to take the Ravens.
Look, it kills me to say this. It absolutely pains me because I am not an Aaron Rodgers fan, but Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win this division simply because Lamar Jackson just is not Lamar Jackson right now. He's not been playing that way. He's been mediocre at best. I mean, they have so many issues on the Baltimore Ravens offensive team. Again, this hurts me to say, but I think Pittsburgh is the more reliable team right now and will end up winning the division.
How Pittsburgh is the more reliable team?
Right.
I have no idea.
There's not a reliable team in that division.
It hurts me to say it. It hurts me to say it.
Well, they did just beat Baltimore, which is a key. The greatest thing about all of this, guess who's the last game? Last game of the season, it's Pittsburgh and Baltimore, which is awesome scheduling. And I'm glad that is something we're doing. So awesome take. I do love that. All right, let's go to the next one. AFC South, since we spent so much time on the first one. The AFC South. We just saw now the Colts are 8-5. They just got Phillip Rivers. Same page. Houston Texans 8-5, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who we honestly wrote off for dead very early in the season, they're 9-4. It looks within the division. Jacksonville's 3-1, Houston's 4-1, Indy's 2-2, and so this is going to be a toss-up. There's 3 teams here that have a realistic chance. Mark, you're going to start us off with this one. Who wins the AFC South?
Give me the Indianapolis Colts. You heard me say it. Phillip Rivers is making a resurgence. He's coming back. A former Charger, now coming back from obscurity to lead this team to a division title. You can't write it. Disney couldn't write a better movie script than what's happening in Indianapolis right now. He's got Jonathan Taylor who can get him enough time with the running game to alleviate some pressure, to allow him to throw. The Colts surprise everybody. Shock the world, Phillip Rivers.
I love that you went ballsy and took Indy. I really do. And honestly, I hope that happens for your sake. I'm going to go. It's a tough one. Damn, it's a tough one. I'm going to go Houston. And this is why. They play Arizona, W. Vegas, W. They should be in the Chargers because they're banged up as all get out right now, W. And then they play the Colts, W. I think they clean sweep the next 4 games. Their defense is too stout. Go ahead and give me the chalk. I'll take the Texans.
Scotty says Colts, yes. And then we get the other side of life, bringing you down to realization. Now you're Delulu.
Mark, if they do it, you got to do the weird guy who sings the stupid Colts song. You got to make the horse noise.
Dude, never mind. There were so many ways I was going to go with the horse noise concept, and I was like,
I would say I would do it, but that is just the complete embarrassment that I don't want to put myself through. And if that happens, I'm not doing it. So I was just saying you should do it.
Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate your professional advice.
I'm glad you went for the Colts. We're now the Colts play in Seattle against the Seahawks with old man Rivers.
Old man Rivers.
Yeah, so we this just should be interesting. This take is going to go bad very quickly.
There's not a long shelf life to my take on that.
Nope. All right, let's go to the AFC West. Talking about Denver, who's 11-2 in the division, 3-1. The Chargers, Mark. All right, they are 9-4, so they're 2 games back, but they are 4-0 in the division. I guess we'll share that KC is still alive. They're not been eliminated. They're 6-7, but they do take on the Chargers, so they'll play into this a good amount. But Robbie, we're going to let you start off with this one. Who are you going in the AFC West?
I'm taking Denver. Again, I'm eating the chalk, but it has to do with the Chargers' injuries. Like if Justin Herbert was fully healthy, I think that they would be able to do something, but I don't trust their injuries. That Denver defense is too stout, and all that Denver has left on their schedule, Green Bay coming up. They do play Jacksonville, Kansas City, and the Chargers, so it's not a cakewalk for Denver from here on out. But LA still has to play Dallas, and I don't think they're going to beat Dallas. So go ahead and give me the Broncos.
I am so glad you took the Broncos, because if you would have took the Chargers, we would have had 30 seconds of silence right here, because I wouldn't have argued with you. Look, the Chargers are getting healthy at the right time. Yes, they've been a little banged up, but you know what? Omarion Hampton is coming back. He's back. He's ready. Herbert, he's getting better. He's on the mend. I love this spot for the Chargers. The offensive line starting to gel. They'll get things done starting in Kansas City this weekend. Boom.
All right, we'll see. That's a really big game this weekend. Talking about Kansas City, who's I'm curious what they do and how they play, because in all accounts they're not eliminated. But that last game, it looked like people, in general, like they looked like they were eliminated on that loss. And so
it looked like their season, that was the last game of the season.
100%. And so I'm curious how this goes. All right. Well, it is that time for America's division. We have the NFC East, and we only have 2 teams left, and that's the Eagles at 8-5 and the Cowboys at 6-6. If you look at the division, though, if you're looking at tiebreakers, you do have the division winner, the Eagles of 2-2. The Cowboys are 3-1. Looking at their schedules, I want to make sure, because I believe they're done playing, right, Robbie?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
They're done. They're done playing. Yeah.
All right, and they split this season, right?
They did.
Okay. Yeah. So at that point, it does come down to division within this one. So let's go ahead and see which way we're going. Mark, you're starting us off on the NFC East. You going with the Eagles or the Cowboys?
Well, it's time for me to eat some chalk and say, fly, Eagle, fly. I think, look, the Eagles are just better defensively. And don't get me wrong, the Cowboys can put up points, they can score, and they have the ability to win games. Their Achilles heel has been the defense this season. They can't stop anybody. And people, you want to rush the ball? No problem. You want to pass the ball? Even better. They can't stop anybody. The Eagles at least have a defense that can slow people down, and they end up winning the division.
Well, I'm glad you picked the Eagles because I'm going to roll with the Cowboys. First off, ties are stupid. There shouldn't be a tie in the NFL. Figure that crap out. Philly is going to lose to Buffalo, and they're going to drop one of those games to Washington because they usually always drop a stupid game at the end of the year, and they're going to drop one to Washington. Dallas is going to sweep, and they're going to barely win the division.
Wow. All right. He's calling his shot. So I like it. And with time to spare. So the Cowboys coming back to win, looking at their schedule, they do take on the Minnesota Vikings, who are obviously playing for a spot into their division. The Chargers, who are a big one, and then they end with Washington and the Giants. So these next 2 weeks are big. I'm curious how this all plays out.
I love how Robbie's already shaking his head no of the Vikings already.
No, they're not playing for nothing.
All right, let's talk about the actual NFC North then, because yes, they are okay. The Vikings are 5-8. They are in last place. You're right. They don't have a chance to get in there, but they have a chance to possibly get into a playoff if they can somehow catch one of these teams. It'd be a long shot. I would say that they're pretty much all but out of it. But you do have 3 teams that have a legit shot. And that is the 8-5 Detroit Lions, who have to turn it around right now, like this week, because they're 2 games back of the Packers. But the Bears are 9-4, and the Green Bay Packers are 9-3. In the division, though, everybody has a losing record except for the Green Bay Packers, who are 4-0. So let's go ahead into the NFC North, and Rob, we'll start with you. Who's winning this division?
This was a tough one as well. I've got Green Bay barely. I have them projected to go 11-5, with Detroit going 11-6. I just still don't believe in Chicago, and you can't. And if I can't believe in them now, I'm not going to believe in them at all this year. I think Green Bay, after they play Denver, they've got Chicago, Baltimore, and Minnesota, 3 teams that they should be able to win. Baltimore is going to be a tough one. Detroit was really close, but I don't think they have the dogs to keep up with LA this weekend. So give me Green Bay to take over this division and win it.
I agree with you. And as much as it pains me to say, I think Green Bay has to bank on the fact that the Detroit Lions don't catch fire, because if the Detroit Lions catch fire, this is their division. And I would back a Dan Campbell offense to actually win this division and see a Green Bay collapse, because they're notorious for getting to this point, right? And then not being able to finish, not being able to close. Give me Detroit.
Yeah. If Detroit wins on Sunday, Detroit's winning that division. I think you can book that. If they beat the Rams on Sunday, they will win that division.
But listen to this schedule for Detroit. They go at Rams,
right,
and they play Pittsburgh, who we just said that we expect them to hold off the Ravens, and then Minnesota, who they're done so. But then they go at Chicago to end the season.
Yeah, did you see what they did to Chicago this season? They put a 50-burger almost on them.
I get it, but my God. But then the other side, look at Chicago. They play Cleveland, which I get it. Cleveland is nothing to write home about, but Cleveland will beat you up. At that point, the next week go to Green Bay. They play Green Bay, and then they go to San Francisco, who might have something to play for, and then they finish the season in Detroit, the last one. The reason you probably all took Green Bay is I believe they have a little bit easier of a schedule to end the season. They do play at Denver, at Chicago, versus Baltimore, finish with Minnesota. Honestly, I don't even know if that's even easier. But
it's neither 3 of them have a great last sled. I just think Green Bay. I trust Green Bay more out of the bunch. It really banks on that Rams game. I just think the Rams are too good, and I think they'll beat Detroit, and I think that's what's going to do them in.
And honestly, it boils down for me. You look at that division record, right? If we end up in a tie break, Green Bay is undefeated in the division.
Yep.
So everybody else is, they're
cooked. That's what you want to say.
That's what I want to say.
All right. Well, real quick before we move on, I want to give a shout out to our guy TJ. Just got shoulder surgery done, successful. Shoulder surgery, any of that stuff, that sucks. So hopefully healing quickly. It is a long recovery, but you know what? It'll give you a chance to take a step back in life, because sometimes we actually need that because we get all caught up in it and everything just time flies. I noticed that the other day with my 2 kids. they were standing next to another kid, and I was like, my God, my oldest is almost as tall as my wife. Like, they literally are just like sprouting up. So yes, time flies. So yes, make sure you take time for yourself and heal up. All right, let's go.
It used to happen in the winter too, man. You're not going to have to.
Sure.
And I know you're in Canada, so I'm sure you'll be inside quite a bit. Start Shorzy over and watch that. And have a few bourbons, and hopefully that pain will ease off.
I love Shorzy. All right, let's go to the NFC South here. Who are we going with here? Back to you, Mark. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Mark.
All right. Mark, we got the Carolina Panthers, who are 7-6. The Tampa Bay Bucks, they shit the bed. Excuse my language, but they shit the bed. They're now 7-7 within the division, 2-1, 2-2. Nothing to write home about in general. So we'll let you start off. This is the ultimate toss-up. Who you going with, the Panthers or the Bucks?
By toss-up, you mean puke fest, because this is disgusting. It kills me because I'm backing Bryce Young. How stupid is that to go with the Carolina Panthers to win this division? After what happened last night in Tampa Bay, there is no way that I could back that team and expect it. There's just not enough time left in the season for them to get their ish figured out and get back on track. It's just not going to happen. They're going to crumble. Mayfield's hurt. Give me the Panthers.
Yeah, it's ugly. God, I thought the AFC North was ugly. It's uglier sister. I'm going to take Tampa. I think that Tampa has more weapons than they're healthy. And I think after we're hearing their coach last night go off and drop every F-bomb every other sentence, I think he's going to get that team motivated. Mike Evans, once again, I'm sorry that I doubted you. You are the alpha of that group. I think Tampa has the weapons. I think a pissed off Baker, and even better, a pissed off head coach will motivate them to take the division.
Yeah, I look at this as well. You're talking about, Carolina does play the Saints this weekend, and I'm not saying that's an easy game. They obviously could then.
I will.
They could easily get a win, but their next three are 2 against the Bucks, which is pretty much going to decide all this. But also they have Seattle. So those next 3 weeks are going to be tough. And then on the flip side of that, Tampa Bay does have the Panthers twice, but in between that they have to go to Miami, which isn't an easy game, but it's not necessarily. It's not the Seahawks. Let's just be
still
honest.
In Florida. They don't have to leave the state of Florida for that one. So,
right.
Yeah.
So should be interesting. All right, let's go to looks like the last one, and Robbie will start you off with this one. It is the NFC West, and I don't know what everybody else thinks, but this could be the best division in all of football, and that doesn't take away from others like the NFC North. But the NFC West is loaded. Let's go through the Rams, who are 10-3, 3-1 division. Seahawks, we've talked a lot about 10-3. They're 2-2 in the division. And then the San Francisco 49ers are 9-4, 1 game back. They're 4-1 in the division. You could go either way, and I would feel okay about it. But Robbie, you'll start us off. Who are you going with in the NFC West?
I'm telling you, it was down between 2 teams, and one of those teams was not Seattle. I'm taking LA because I think they're just amazing right now. They're one of the best teams in the league. They don't get enough credit. San Francisco is a close second, and they play Tennessee, Indy, Chicago, and Seattle to finish out the year. I think they finished 3-1. Seattle still has Sam Darnold, who when it's a big game, he still sees ghosts. I don't care how good he was last year. I don't care how good he's been this year. He sees ghosts. He'll see ghosts again. I think LA has the most proven players on their team, and they'll take the division.
Look, Seattle has been the beneficiary of an absolutely dominating defense. Yes, that is absolutely true. Their offense, Darnold, he's never going to get you across that finish line. Give me the 49ers here. I think the 49ers have been flying under the radar. Again, it's another one of those teams. They're getting healthy at the right time. I love this spot for the 49ers to really advance and then make their mark in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think you look at the Seahawks. They have the toughest road to hoe going forward. Just looking at their schedule. The 49ers obviously were not good last year. That's why they have the easier schedule. But if I look at anything, the Rams have the easier schedule. They do play Detroit, which is a tough one. They go to Seattle, but then they go to Atlanta, which is indoors, and they play Arizona, which is indoors, at home. And so at that point, you're talking about 3 of the next 4 games are all indoors. I think that is easier on your body, in my opinion, except then going to Chicago or having to play, if you're in Seattle, you play home games in the freezing cold. And so, yes, I think that is interesting to look at. But Good job, boys. I thought it was a good way to break down the divisions and kind of figure out. I don't think it's the old school style that we have as normal of the split decision of picking out a winner, because I think that the chat would always probably split on y'all as well. But Joe says Mark lost. Mark, do you agree?
No, I don't agree. Damn it, Joe. And Joe's the one that said great minds think alike. Dude, you flip faster than pancakes. Faster than pancakes, Joe.
Now he's flipping again. Now he's flipping again.
Yeah.
He's saying Robbie lost.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Did Mark see my comment? Oh, Robbie.
Yeah. Right.
No, it's because I bashed the Vikings and picked the Cowboys. So that's why I was really shocked he picked you to win.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, that was I love that we dug into that, because there's so much left within the NFL season. College football is literally right around the corner. We'll break down those matchups next weekend for sure.
And it's a reminder of just how close the postseason is
right
for the football season. And it feels like it just was getting started.
Yes.
And we're getting in that flow, and we're knocking on the end. So yeah, that was very sobering for me.
Yeah. But speaking of next week, I believe 1 week from now you're going to be on a beach. Is that not true, Mark?
I'm at my toes in the water, ass in the sand.
Should we fill your spot for that Friday show next week?
Yeah, I think that we should. I know when Rob was away, we were able to bring in a guest and had a lot of fun with that. And that's a great idea.
All right. Well, just so everybody is aware, we'll make the announcement now. We're not going to tell you who it is, but it won't be EC this time, but it will be somebody different that you're guaranteed to love, that I will give the only tease today, and we'll continue to tease this as we go till next Friday. This person has never been on the show before. And it is someone who we know. I don't know anybody that doesn't like this person.
Right.
I think everybody likes this person. We just got confirmation last night. And so make sure you tune in next Friday. Not that you won't tune in every single day, but next Friday should be another good classic show. And as one of us has to miss, we're going to kind of try to keep doing this and adding people. And maybe we have another special person next week before Friday. Maybe we do that too.
We do.
Oh.
Do you mind if I announce that now?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Because on Tuesdays, we had so much fun with EC on Tuesday that I reached out to a man that I know who works at Sports Illustrated by the name of Peter Dewey. He covers the NBA for Sports Illustrated. Mm-hmm. He is actually going to be joining us here Tuesday afternoon at 2:00 to kind of break down, give you some insights onto the NBA, how he views it, his NBA Cup reaction after this weekend. I'm telling you, the man is absolutely geared for basketball.
I love it.
That's awesome.
We're not exactly sure, and this is definitely talking about everything on the show, but I can't do Monday's show, and so Mark will be hosting Monday, and Robbie will be in attendance. Robbie could have to miss Tuesday, which would then put me in line for doing the Tuesday show. So maybe we split, and maybe Robbie says, you know what, screw that. I'm doing Tuesday show no matter what. But as of right now, I am not on Monday's show, and I am expected to be on Tuesday's show unless things just hit the fan and everything just opens up. So
I have to shoot a video. So I'm just going to go see Bassett, one take, one hitter quitter, knock it out. And that way I should be available for the Tuesday show.
Yeah. So if for some reason he is not on, Robbie's not on, I will be doing the show on Tuesday. But either way, I will not be on Monday's show as of right now. But new guest on Tuesday.
Please remind me on Monday that I'm on the show, because I will absolutely forget.
I'll remind you. But Tuesday we have a new guest, and then Friday another new guest as well.
That actually might be fun.
That would be fun.
Mark, you should see them sing karaoke. If you get in the saloon, it's a hoot, man.
Oh,
damn. Damn, dude. I'm over here minding my own. You know what I mean? Just minding my own.
Robbie comes with a little sprinkle, just like this guy does.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors: original, hot, and no salt. That's going to turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's Blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
Well done once again, Seabass. Look, Houston may not have a Chubb, but they definitely got a Woody this Sunday, and his ankle seems to be absolutely fine. He practiced in full yesterday and today. He was on Robbie's radar this week, but I'm going to take his longest rush of 15+. The main reason why, Arizona can't stop a running back to save their life. They've allowed a longest rush of 21.4 in their last 10 games. Houston's favored by 9.5. I see them leaning on Woody the majority of that game. Please give me the 15+ at -110. Second play, and this is one I found today. I'm taking Luke Musgrave, 16+ receiving yards at -120. And it's not really what Luke has done for Green Bay, but it's how bad Denver has been against the tight end. They're allowing an average of 3.8 receptions, 44.6 receiving yards, and a longest catch of 19.7 to the tight end position. No Tucker Kraft. Luke has got a big body, big frame, and he can actually go deep. He should have had a catch last week that was called back. Let's get another big catch this week, 16 yards. He can get that.
I'm not going to be as good as Robbie right there. I'm going to come up a little short, but we're going to go with Evan McPherson. We're going to go over 1.5 field goals at +100. When I look at this, the weather is the only issue I see in this game. It's going to be in the teens, but the main part of the weather is there's no wind. The wind is like really low, 3 and 4 miles an hour, which is honestly no movement at all. But he made 6 field goals versus Baltimore 2 games ago. Last week, they played Buffalo. He had 4 extra points, 0 field goals. It was a shootout. He kind of stayed out of that. I don't expect this game in really cold weather, him not to kick any field goals. 2+ field goals in 4 of the last 5 games. He's going to make it 5 out of the last 6. We're going to cash 2 with Evan McPherson. And then go Kaimi Fairbairn. You know how I love Kaimi Fairbairn. He keeps cashing with us. We're going to go over 7.5 kicking points. A little juicy here at -135, but it's an indoor game. And Mark knows weather's going to be perfect there. 8+ kicking points in 7 of the last 8 games. Arizona, though, they've allowed 2+ field goal attempts in 77% of the games. Houston, 2+ field goals in 85% of their games. So I expect that we have 2 field goals and some extra points there for Kaimi Fairbairn to cash us some 8 kicking points.
Love the kicker props. Listen, Sunday's game between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots is going to be a fist fight. Why? Because the Bills got embarrassed at home by these same Patriots, and it's the very same reason the Bills lost that the Patriots are going to lose to the Bills this weekend. So I'm taking Bills -2.5. That's an alt line. Why? Because it's plus money, and we're still under a key number of 3. Love this spot for the Bills to win by at least a field goal, because when they lost to the Patriots at Buffalo, the Patriots were the beneficiary of numerous turnovers. I believe they had 4 turnovers in that game. It was a 4-0 in the turnover factory. So I love this spot for Buffalo to stay focused and really understand what's at stake in this game. They have to win this game. New England doesn't have to win this game. They've already got this. We're in the playoffs. We just got to, let's just kind of keep doing our thing. There's no urgency behind it. I love this spot for the Bills on the alt line. And in the same game, I'm also taking Hunter Henry to go under 3.5 receptions. Why would I do that? In all of the games played this season against Buffalo, there has been one tight end to go over this line, and that is Travis Kelce. The Bills' middle secondary is extremely, extremely tough. That linebacker core holds tight ends in check. And in fact, the pass pressure is so great that most tight ends turn into blocking tight ends. Restricts that number of opportunities. I love the spot for Hunter Henry to stay under 3.5 receptions.
I love that look, Mark, especially the Buffalo -2.5. I think that's great, and I think they're going to win. I'm going to go with another Robbie's radar guy because the lines haven't moved that much, and I'm going to take Isaiah Likely, 35-plus receiving yards. I grabbed this at -114 at FanDuel. It's jumped up to about 37 or 38 now, but I'd imagine if you take 35-plus alt line, you could still get -130, -135. Mark Andrews showed up on the injury report today with a glute injury, so he may not be 100% on Sunday. Even if he is, I think Likely has the better game. Last time these two teams played, he hauled in 9 catches for 124 yards. I'm sorry, he hauled in 9 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown in his last 2 games. But as you all know, he went 5 for 93 against the Bengals on Thanksgiving. The Bengals absolutely suck against the tight ends. I think Likely has a huge day on Sunday.
So for some reason, Mark Andrews does come out and is healthy. Would you say he's gluten-free now? All right, let's go to the Jason Myers pick. Jason Myers has been the best producing kicker in all of football this season. We're looking at him to go 8+ kicking points at this point. I'm sorry, over 8.5 kicking points at +100. There's rain that it's expected in the game, but it doesn't worry me too much because he's used to playing in the weather there in Seattle, and the rain should not be hard to the point of it will just kind of push off the ball off its pivot point. So I like him to cash us for 9+ kicking points here. And he's allowed 9 field goals in the last 3 games. Myers, he's made 3+ field goals in 5 straight, totaling 17 made field goals. He's had 12+ kicking points in 5 straight games, totaling 65 kicking points in the last 5 games. Jason Myers is kicking extra points, field goals, like it's his job. Make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely a dad joke. Definitely a dad joke day. But you know what? Why not? After Robbie started us off with him, I couldn't help myself.
Dude, that was just, I had to slam dunk that saying. That had to be done.
You definitely dunked it. We're definitely coming up right behind you on that one. We're not going to ever be able to top that. All right, but that is our full plays. That's a 12-pack for the weekend, and we'll have obviously a heavy Sunday slate for sure. But everybody else has picks that they're putting in here as normal. But also, if you want to put in your saloon shot, please do that. But before we get there, it looks like Cheesy has joined us, and he's saying Keontae George over 21.5 points at -108. Jaren Jackson Jr. Grizzlies over the 18.5 points at -130. Jaren sucks. I would not play that. I'm just being honest. He can probably get to the 19 points, but I would honestly, I'd feel dirty getting there. It would not feel clean at all. But if you have a read, by all means, I just know how he is, and I wouldn't put $1 on that if it was me, but that's probably because I'm jaded as a fan. But let's go ahead and get into our saloon shots because we got to reveal our newest member, but a returnee for sure. Looky, we got a new entry for Miss Kimberly White here. All right, we have her a new mug, and because she is 100% a cat lady, I wanted to make sure I put cats on this one to kind of show some love. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with you because I know that you had lost a member of the family this week, but this should be pretty cool. But getting 4 in, Robbie, how impressive is that?
It's very impressive. If you can just get into the saloon, it's impressive. But to be in there 4 times, my God, it's going to be just called Kim's Speakeasy from now on. I'm just going to go build Robbie's Roadhouse and leave everybody in the dust. And I'm just going to stay there.
Did you just come out that off the top of your head? Because that's pretty good.
I did.
Wow, I'm impressed. Mark, if you look at this screen now, we have all these people in here. How impressive is all these names on here with all their, beer mugs, their beer steins? I obviously I don't see yours, but how impressive is this list right here?
Yeah, it's very impressive. If we've got Kim Speakeasy, Robbie's Roadhouse, we've got Mark's Cardboard Shelter out in the back alley. Hey, can I at least at some point just be like, I'm going to have Kim put in my saloon shot play?
Well, you could have been doing it this whole time, like behind our backs, not telling us. But yes, you could.
It's first touchdowns for us though. So
right.
You got to remember that's why I haven't gotten in lately, because I suck at these, and so do the players that I pick.
Yeah, I blame the players. I don't think it's us.
Yeah. Zay Flowers had one right in his hand last week and couldn't hold on to it. So it's a him problem, not a me problem.
I agree. And I saw somebody who was on the list because he's done it multiple times. Plus 2,200 for Tyler Warren this week. I laughed when I saw that. I was like, all right, I'm not touching that because we've been there. We've done that. We're not doing it again. Tyler Warren he's banned from first touchdowns.
He is dead right to me. He burned me twice. I'm so done with him.
He's burned all of us at least once.
Yeah.
Now his first quarter receiving has been an ATM for me this year.
Right.
So rest in peace to that play, because I'm not touching that either. I'm not touching any Colts this weekend for anything. No,
absolutely not. All right. Well, tell us who you are playing with today. You're going to Chicago.
Yeah. This game's ugly, so I figured I'm just going to take an ugly player too. I don't know. I haven't actually seen what Loveland looks like. I could care less. But he's going to get the first touchdown at plus 1,100. The high on Sunday is going to be 10 degrees with wind chills at minus 15 and minus 25. I think both of these teams are going to look ugly. I think the thing that's going to get him in is they're going to do a play action to DeAndre Swift, and Loveland's going to be wide open in the corner of the end zone for the first touchdown of the game, maybe the only touchdown of the game.
Yeah, and then you'll be on Loveland Island there with your first touchdown. I'm a big fan of that. Well, I'm going with the Canadian Goose himself. Going plus 1,300. Theo Johnson, my guy. He is going to score a touchdown. It's going to be the first touchdown this week. He's going against Washington. And I don't know if you know anything about Washington. Well, they suck. And so I think that you can look at two different ways. Maybe Jackson Dart runs it in, but he's been concussed so many times in the first season that, you know what? Let's take it easy against Washington. Throw it up to either Wan'Dale Robinson or Theo Johnson. I think Theo Johnson is going to be the guy who is the beneficiary this week. So I love the Canadian Goose at plus 1,300. Mark?
I'm going with Big Game Gabe. Why? Simply because when the Bills don't rush the ball to get into the end zone, guess who Josh Allen is looking for? That's right. Big Game Gabe. Gabe Davis has received 100% of the red zone targets in the last 10 games. Let me say that again. He's received 100% of the red zone targets in the last 10 games in the first quarter. What that means, when Josh Allen looks to throw the ball, he's got one guy in mind, and that is Gabe Davis, and that is who is getting me in the saloon.
Interesting.
I don't hate it.
Big.
I think
game.
this is your bet. I think this is your best shot, honestly. And It's at plus 2,000. I think it's your best shot.
Wow. All right. Big Game Gabe, his best shot he's had at plus
2,800. 2,800. It's my best shot, and I was riding that. I rode the truck twice at plus 1,000.
Yeah, I know we said we were going to switch up who has to take the bum truck, and we decided since Phillip Rivers is quarterback that's null and void now. So.
Wow. Well, Joe says that Mark's pick is from like 2020, so before pre-COVID is where your pick came from. But Mark, I think somebody likes Mr. Phillip Rivers. Nate G's going. Rivers is going 350 and 5 tutters this weekend. Any chance that happens?
100%.
Really?
This is the Colts Cinderella season right now. Again, Disney, the writers at Disney could not have come up with a better script for the Colts.
It kind of did. It was called The Rookie. It had the one guy in it, Dennis Quaid, when he came back as a pitcher.
Yep.
Very similar movie. But he didn't win. It wasn't football,
right.
So you're right.
If he wins this game on Sunday, Rob, do you think this is like ultimate like STFU, I'm gonna talk my ish, like you can't tell me nothing kind of day?
He's already a trash talker anyway
Right.
when he played. If he wins this weekend, that will be unbearable. And get ready for the 12th kid because he's going to go home and celebrate.
Wow.
Wow.
Speaking of,
I will say
Woody.
this. I will say this. Unfortunately, there's one of two options for Phillip Rivers at this point. He either wins and it's celebrated, or two, even if he has a okay showing, it's still going to go badly for him because the criticism is going to be he just doesn't have it anymore. And now you're going to get this flood wave coming in of he's got to go. And I think it's a bad spot.
If the Seattle social media team doesn't post the meme of old man Rivers, zip it, or I'm going to break your hip after they destroy the Indy this weekend, they're missing a prime opportunity for some social media content.
Wow. The funny thing about all of this, actually, let me ask this question first. I'll go both of y'all. Mark, is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer?
No, I think he was a good football player, not a Hall of Famer.
Agreed. Robbie? He never even made the AFC Championship, did he?
Okay. Wow.
Well, no, not for me.
Yeah. If you could turn back time, we'll 100% be blaring.
Apparently, Cher's doing the halftime show.
Yeah. I'm curious though because I think he has potential. I think he's put up enough numbers. I haven't looked at the numbers to see what his career is, but I would assume his numbers have to be pretty gaudy. At some point, you see his numbers and go, man, he put up so many and he won a lot of games, but like he never really truly won the big one. That could hurt him. But my thought is if he was eligible, like this delayed his eligibility to the Hall of Fame by 5 years, right? Because you have to be out of the game for so long. So like he was coming up on being eligible for the Hall of Fame, I guess probably next year, the year after that, for how long he's been out. And so at that point, he could be coming up on it. But now, let's say he does come back at age 44. Mark, I'm going to start with you. If he does come back and he actually leads this team to the playoffs, could that push him over into having a true Hall of Fame career?
Yeah, I just pulled up his stats as we were talking about it because I do think if he is able to take Indianapolis to the playoffs, puts this team on his shoulders and says, I'm going to get you there. Yes, that effort becomes the thing that legends are made of, right? I mean, you can't take that away. And that is the sort of momentum, and that is the last thing that people will remember as he comes eligible again in 5 years for the Hall of Fame. The flip of that coin is that I didn't think he was a Hall of Fame quarterback when he retired the first time. Anything short of that playoff run kills any chance for his Hall of Fame. And he threw for 63,000 yards.
Yeah. Wow.
I will say this to your point. If he goes out and throws 5 interceptions, not touchdowns, and he looks absolutely dreadful in this last stretch, I think that absolutely kills it because that will be your lasting image of him. And it would be, you should have just stayed retired. Don't Ric Flair this. You should have just stayed down and not come back.
Wow. I think it's going to be interesting. This is the game that a lot of people are going to be watching if he gets the start. He hasn't been put into that position yet where they've said that he's going to be confirmed as a starter. But there's a big chance that he actually could become the starter. Everybody's going to be watching that game. I know there's so many games that people are going to be watching. It is going to be Patriots. Buffalo will be a big one this weekend. But that Seattle game against Indy will be awesome just because if Phillip Rivers does play, it'll be huge. All right, let's look at the saloon shots, and we'll end our end the show as we on these ones from the chat. Sky Jawadi says Ja Morant triple-double tonight at a plus 1,046. He has the opportunity because he passes the ball well, and they're playing. I don't even remember who they're playing at this point. God, I'm so dialed out of the Grizzlies right now, as you can tell. They're playing somebody, and they're welcoming them in tonight just because last time Ja was injured, Zach Edey came back the next game. Zach Edey got injured. Now Ja's coming back. They're just
Utah. They're playing Utah, by the way.
Yeah, Utah sucks. So yeah, that's a good look. All right. Derek says in his saloon shot, Mahomes 25 plus rush yards. As long as his name's not Baker, he has a chance to get those rush yards. Jacoby Myers 50 plus receiving yards. Brown anytime touchdown, and then Drake May 2 plus pass tutters at plus 1541. It's a lot there, Rob, but do you like it?
I think it's solid looks. Mahomes had to run for his life last week. He may have to do it again this week. Jacoby is the number one wide receiver there. Of course, he kind of crapped the bed last week, but I think that was an outlier. Chase Brown, I don't hate that because he hasn't been great, but he can still get in the end zone. And then Drake May, the Drake May one scares me a little bit. I know Buffalo's secondary is what it is, but I feel like they're very motivated right now. I know they've been kind of an enigma, but this is a time where they usually try to turn it on. So that's the only one that scares me.
All right. Well, let's look at this one from Miss Kim. And Mark, I'll go with you to this one. Trevion Henderson. He's not Ramondre Stevenson, so he's a friend of the show. Then Nico Collins, and then Christian Watson. Anytime tutters at plus 1146.
Yeah, I love it. In fact, I'm going to use this one as my saloon shot.
You would try. You should have used one of them as the first, but the only one that probably would even be the first touchdown would be Christian Watson. I think everybody else would have to not be eligible.
Yeah, right.
So, all right, it's a good look. As always, Miss Kim's obviously a good
styled
look.
in.
Oh my God. Cheesy, this is not a saloon shot, but he's saying Mobley over 10.5 rebounds, just one hammer at minus 110. All right. I like it.
I forgot to mention Dylan Holloway, my Friday night play. He's 2 points from 100 points. So you can't get to 100 without getting 99. So he'll at least get 99 tonight.
Okay.
The math checks on that.
Yeah.
All right. Should be a fun weekend. Thank you all for hanging out with us. For Mark, Rob, I'm DG. It has been a pleasure to be here. Hopefully, throughout the next week, you'll be joining us. We got some guests coming up. Tuesday will be a guest spot, as well as Friday. You don't want to miss them. We'll have a good time for sure, as always, and make you probably the most important part of the show, other than definitely my picks. We'll see you Monday.